guys, Joey Viancourt from joeyviancourtfitness.com, author of Bones to Buff. I'm here with questions from the bench because I'm going to answer some questions and I'm sitting on a bench. Alright, so pretty original, but what we're going to do in this segment is just answer some client questions as well as any subscriber or people who have just sent me messages over Facebook, and I want to just get a video response instead of answering emails because I get tired of typing. First question I want to answer today is a question from Hamid. Hope I got that right. He was interested in knowing, what do you do if you start to see uneven development in your musculature after years of training? Now, I think we've all had experience with this at one time or another. I have as well. I'm still working on some, especially one of my lats is a little bit bigger than the other one. So I'm playing a little bit of catch up with one, and it'll always be like that depending on if you're right-handed, left-handed, which side you favor. Now, he wants to know what you can do about it, and there are a couple things to do to correct it. Now, there's also a lot of things you can do to prevent it, but today we're just going to do the corrections. So I'm going to show you some typical exercises that you can perform on some specific muscle groups. Not all of them, but it'll give you an idea of how to apply them to different muscles after seeing this video. Alright, so let's go through a couple of reasons why uneven developments occur. Basically, whenever you're right-handed, you're going to be tending to obviously favor your right side a little bit more. And whenever you're doing any kind of barbell exercise, say for a squat, well, a squat, whenever you're going to go down, it's not as if you're isolating one leg at a time. So your right leg might push a little bit more than the left to get it completely back up. And typically that's what happens even with the bench press, the shoulder press. One arm is dominant, while the other one's slightly less dominant. And that's what happens if you continue to apply force to it over the years. What's going to happen is just uneven development, and the worst part about that is you can lead into different structural misalignments in your body as well, and you want to watch out for those. So if you can prevent it, great, but if you want to try to correct some and start to bring up a lagging body part, I'm going to show you some exercises today that I've started to include for myself as well as my clients, and it seems to be working. I've seen some definite gains in my lagging body parts as well. So stay tuned, we're going to go through some exercises right now. Okay, so the first tip that I give to anybody who has any uneven development is to immediately switch to isolation movements with one arm or one leg at a time. Alright, so I know it's pretty generic, but it's often overlooked. Now, if you're doing a lot of barbell presses or stuff like that, start to switch to dumbbells. I'm going to show you some prime examples. I'm using a set of light dumbbells here, so don't judge me on that. It's just for demonstration purposes, okay? So shoulder presses, again, you're just going to do them one at a time. Even switching it up can help. Dumbbell curls, one at a time. And what you want to do is focus always on your weaker muscle. And I know it kind of sounds strange, and I don't like to overthink things, but if you kind of get that mind-muscle connection, my left arm is a little bit weaker, so when I'm doing this, you don't have to look at it or, make any faces at it or anything like that, but just think about left arm. And just by doing that, you're going to trigger and fire up some of those muscle fibers in that arm, and a little bit, not less in your right arm, but it's just going to help you gain that strength that might be lacking. Same thing, dumbbell presses. Instead of doing barbells, we're going to do some dumbbells. Okay? Now, I know this is pretty basic stuff. Now, the next thing I want to show you, though, is a little bit more advanced. And I would recommend cycling this training. You don't want to train like this forever, because typically what you want to do is correct the imbalance and then move back to proper proportional training with barbells and anything else that requires, 2 movements at a time to move one object. All right, so prime example, barbell. Now, I would recommend doing it for about 4 to 6 weeks at a time, and then go back to proportional training, but paying attention to make sure that your dominant arm isn't taking over. And also you want to take measurements to see if you're making any progress. Progress can't be measured, or you can't tell progress unless you measure it, right? Okay, so whenever you are cycling this training, and for the 4 to 6 weeks like I outlined, what I want you to do is anytime you're doing one arm at a time movements, or like one leg at a time, always start with the less dominant muscle group, okay? So in this case, if I'm doing, say, dumbbell curls, and I wanted to start, what I want to do is I'd basically start with my left arm. See how many I can do with that. So I would just go, say I got 12 reps and I can't possibly get another rep with that, then I'll go to my right arm, okay? And I'll do up to 12 reps, which I should be able to get. If you don't, that's okay too, because technically you want to get more volume with your left arm anyways, but don't go past what you got with your left on your right, if that makes sense. So never surpass the reps on your dominant arm that you couldn't get with your less dominant arm. Alright, so you might have to rewind this and watch that again to get that completely, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Same thing with any other movement. And even to go a bit further than that, at the very end of any exercise you're doing, what I want you to do is, after you're done your regular sets, and you've done your right side as well, or your more dominant side, and you're done your workout, or you've just done that exercise group, I want you to pick up the set of dumbbells you're using and do another, say, one set and just as many reps as you can, or do like a drop set immediately after your final set with your less dominant arm. Get a little bit more volume each workout on it, and people could argue you're going to overtrain it, but if you do it properly and cycle your training, and then you back off a bit, that's specific overloading, and then you just have recovery times, and your muscle will adapt. I mean, your muscle basically adapt, given, you know, some intense exercise, and you're going to break down that muscle, it will eventually repair itself more. If you constantly hammer away at it though, it doesn't have enough time to recoup and recover properly. So that's when you're going to get led into overtraining. So those are my top tips for building up and correcting underdevelopments or muscular imbalances. There's more technical ones you can go into. I'm not very well versed in it all though, but those are some of the tips that I've found really helpful for me and some of my clients too. So feel free to throw them into your workouts. There's no need to change your whole workouts around. Just kind of make a couple switches, and I think that you'll do just fine. And this really help you bust through any kind of plateau you've been having. And for a full page or a full PDF report, it's a 40-page report on busting through a plateau. You want to go to bustyourplateau.com, right below the link here. Click on it, I'll send you that. You'll also be added to my email newsletter where you'll get up-to-date videos, workouts, tips, and nutrition recipes. All good stuff, and look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Take care.